Will Amazon sellers be allowed to sell Nike products on Amazon in the future? If you sell Nike products, that you're definitely going to want to watch this video. There's been a lot of talk this weekend about a couple articles that were on LinkedIn. I'm going to read one of them to you in a second, basically saying Nike is coming back to sell on Amazon, and with the theory that resellers will no longer be allowed to sell their products because they will be the main seller. So let's pop over to the article. I'm going to share my screen with you guys here. All right, so this is the article. It says Nike will return to formally selling on Amazon within 18 months. If for those of you who don't know, in 2019, Nike stopped their partnership with Amazon and decided to part ways. Nike has the 20% hit on their stock the other day. So you guys can kind of read all this. The interesting part for this for me is it became clear that Nike is planning its return to Amazon when Nike Inc. named this person, I'm not even going to try to pronounce their name, a long-term Amazon.com fashion executive to be its new chief technology officer, including to an internal email reviewed by Bloomberg. So basically someone who is big in the fashion on Amazon is going to Nike, so they're probably going to use his knowledge. And then if you jump down here, they make the argument that Nike really never left Amazon when many 100K items got sold through Amazon's marketplace. But Nike gave up control over its brand. I think this is the big part here when you heard about all the counterfeit goods that are going on and, listings not being correct. I think Nike does not like that, and they really want to make a play, and their business is down. And this is their prediction down here. What's more likely, though, is that Amazon and Nike will eventually strike a deal to give Nike more control over what's sold on Amazon in exchange for which Amazon will get both Nike's blessing and ad spending. It might take some time and some painful conversations on both sides to smooth things out. And then this right down here, by walking away, Nike gave up its leverage and also forfeits the chance to use its colossal marketing budget to buy up ads and drown out rival resellers. There is like a ton of comments on here. To read through them, I don't know if it's really worth it. But that is kind of the gist of it. Now, this really sucks for a lot of people who sell Nike. I sold a ton of Nike when I first started selling on Amazon. So it really, I feel for you guys. And it's never good to see a big brand do something like this because this means other brands may follow. Now, am I saying, oh, Amazon isn't worth it anymore or all this stuff? No, there's still lots of other opportunities, lots of other brands to sell, but Nike will definitely be a big hit. Another point that I have here is this will probably take a good bit of time. So this is a great opportunity to start looking at different brands. Again, like this is kind of a prediction, but it looks like it will happen. I don't know kind of why someone would take the time to kind of write this whole in-depth thing. If you read through the comments, it looks like it's probably going to happen. So now's the time to start looking at different brands, maybe looking at stuff outside of apparel or other apparel brands. I don't know if this will also affect the other brands Nike owns, such as Converse and those other kind of brands, or it's just kind of Nike. I'm guessing it'll probably be all of them if they're going to go through this big effort. But so I do think there will be times. So this is a great time to go through, figure out other things to sell potentially, maybe keep some, but I would not be going super, super deep on anything Nike. With the whole regating thing, this doesn't really surprise me. And it's still, they open up gating for newer sellers, for, I think it was a couple weeks ago, but now it's closed again. So definitely, after reading this article, I don't really think it's a coincidence. I do think Amazon would definitely love to have Nike, because they'll be able to offer cheaper prices, obviously, to customers. And ultimately, Amazon wants to make the customer happy. This is also a great reminder that you constantly have to be revolving in your reselling business. Um, we did a podcast with Jonathan Duke Does Amazon and the Side Hustle Experiment podcast. You could go listen to that. He was selling about 5 to 10 brands that he's been selling for years, and in a flip of a switch, Amazon was like, you can no longer sell these brands. So he had to pivot. He had to figure out ways to liquidate about 20K worth of inventory, and he ended up signing up for Walmart and kind of figuring that out. And he did some other things that we talked about in the podcast. But instead of kind of like sobbing about it, he was just like, okay, here's it. This is it. I can no longer sell these brands. It's time to find new brands, new stores, new sources. So just, you always have to be evolving and willing to pivot. And then for other people too, maybe if they always have sold Nike, they've been frustrated with Amazon, and this is the final kind of knife in the coffin and they're going to leave. When this stuff happens, other opportunities always pop up as well. It should be interesting too. I know a lot of people are selling on Walmart now as well. I wonder if Nike does the same with Walmart, or everyone who's selling Nike on Amazon now moves over to Walmart. I am not really sure, but it is kind of crazy. And another thing to always keep in mind when you are reselling is going wide and not deep. And that goes for brands, ASINs, pretty much anything, categories. I like going deep into categories, but with multiple different brands. So now is the time to start diversifying, being careful with your buys. I'm not saying this is the end. I mean, again, if you Google, is Nike selling on Amazon again? Nothing really, I haven't really been able to find any articles saying it. So I asked someone where they saw it, and they said it was on LinkedIn. So it's kind of like not in the news, I guess, but it's just has started on this Amazon post. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I do think there will still be plenty of opportunity to sell other items, other brands on Amazon, and it will be fine. Reselling, it's really running an Amazon business. The strongest survive. So this is an opportunity for you to step up, to pivot, to find other brands, and to do it now. Again, like, I'm not saying you shouldn't sell any Nike. I personally don't sell any Nike, so it just really doesn't affect me. But I'm sure other people are going to come into other categories that I'm selling, so it will affect my business too, I'm sure. Um, but if I did sell a lot of Nike, I would probably really, really be putting a ton of effort into buying other brands in other categories and figuring out. So this way, if this does happen, I already have my business situated and in place, and it's not like this huge explosion of my business that I'm just trying to figure it out now. And I think that was probably the best play. And then if it never happens, guess what? You have all these other brands and categories you now have found, and if they're better, keep doing that. And if they're not, you could go back to Nike. It should be really interesting. I'm really interested to see how Amazon, if this is true, how they roll this out. A lot of people are saying it's going to be similar to what they did with Clinique. So basically, if you're not familiar, Clinique, they just said no one could sell this anymore starting, I don't know, whatever date it was. And then Amazon announced a partnership with Clinique, with their product. So maybe it goes exactly how that one did. But hopefully Amazon will give enough notice for this and this time around. But it should be really interesting. So that's kind of what I got for you. That's my take on it. I don't think it's the end of the world. Nike, Chris Grant has done some good analysis on Twitter, breaking down how much um, Nike actually contributed to Amazon sales. And when you think about it, compared to all the other brands that are out there, it's just a small sliver of the pie, which sounds crazy, but according to the analysis, that's how it maps out. So let me know what you think in the comments, what your plans are, what you even think about this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Please like, subscribe, and check out the School community. See you in the next video.